90s fragrances, when it was just all about sex, drugs, and I thought I was the dog's bollocks. Cue the intro. Hi, I'm Gabby and welcome back to another edition of the Fragrantician. So, you got it, it's all about 90s fragrances, and I have to say, some of these are just pure powerhouses. 90s fragrances, well, what can I say about the 90s? Well, I was in my 20s, I was born in 72, at the end of 72, so 90s fragrances have a good place in my heart, and I still own, well, I still have some of the vintage formulas here, or I have some of the formulas here as well, a couple are reformulated. So let's get in. So in the 90s, around about 1992, the very first fragrance really that I wore at the age of 20, 92, 93 was this little baby here. I'll hold this up. So as you can see, this is Angel by Thierry Mugler, and this is a 2010 version. I do have a newer version from early this year when I bought it, and I even have an older version, slightly a few years older, that I haven't opened yet, that's still in its cellophane. Yes, I should open it maybe, but this one, obviously, although this I've had since 2010, it came out in 1992, obviously, and I have used this since. As you can see, I have used a fair amount, believe it or not. This is a chocolate, gourmand, patchouli, caramel, berry. What else is in there? You name it, it's in there. I think there's even pineapple in there. It's what Thierry Mugler wanted to recreate from carnivals and fun fairs. And this, although I mean this bottle is now 10 years old, this I think is probably going to be the closest to the original formula that I wore. It's got that cotton candy vibe to it, which I really like, because I find with the new one now that I wear, it's got more of a patchouli scent in there, which I love, but this cotton candy and berries and caramel and oh, it's just scrumptious. I love this fragrance. This is probably the essence of who I am. Obnoxious, big, loud. Here I am, as Mandy Glam says, boom, in your face. She's a big YouTuber here who I love. I'll put her link above. She's an angel lover, like me. You're either an angel lover or an alien lover. Well, actually, I'm both. And I'm sorry, Bougie Fragrance Dawn, I know you're not an angel lover, but I'm not a Tom Ford black orchid lover. So we'll just cancel that out, shall we, and forgive each other because we love each other. But yeah, I wore this all through the 90s, partying. God, I was on my back 7 days a week wearing this. Oh, in all different positions. You know, I absolutely still adore this fragrance, and I will always have this in my collection. So that is Thierry Mugler Angel. Next one we have, actually we're going to go a little bit forward to 1994. I think, yes we are. And I have, and I've still got it in the box here, I have a vintage formula of Eden by Cacharel, which came out in 1994, but I've had this since 1998. So yeah, so this perfume is 22 years old. Still got it in the box, and it's got the Cacharel, the old Cacharel logo there. The new one, it doesn't have that box style in there. That's taken out of it. And I also love it because on the back, I mean, you look at ingredients now with perfume, but on the back here, I'll try and read this. It says, orange blossom and mimosa, cool fruits and patchouli, Eden for the first time ever encompasses the exhilaration of spring with sensuality. Now, is it a sensual fragrance? I think it is. That's debatable. But when I first saw this advertisement of a naked woman walking through the jungle and lush forests, I had to have it. I have a friend who hates it. What did I do? I wore this when I was a bridesmaid at her wedding. She forgave me because I love it. You know, and I know it was her day, but I only did like 1 or 2 scooches. That was in the year 2000, that was. Anyway, I digress. So let's take it out of its box here. Do you know what, whenever I can smell it in its box, and even the ingredients on the back, it just says alcohol, fragrance and water. Those were the days. So this is just a little 30 ml bottle. I've probably got about half of it left. Oh, yes, it's mimosa, it's lotus, it's patchouli, it's all those, it's that lush forest, it's that dense, when the rain has fallen and it falls on the leaves, and that's what this reminds me of. I can only wear this after it's rained. I mean, when I was a bridesmaid, actually, it was a hot June day I wore this on. But you wear whatever you want to wear, whatever season, whatever summer. But I feel now I'll only wear this in autumn and winter. I'm not sure if I could wear it in spring and summer, but on cold, dark, dank days, miserable days, this uplifts me. I find this comforting. And what I love about this fragrance is it doesn't smell. The newer version is really good, and I do have the newer version, but this doesn't smell as fake or plasticky as the new version does. It's hard to describe. It is so gorgeous, but I love it. And I wore this all through the 90s. And I wear it now from time to time. So that's Eden by Cacharel. Next fragrance we have. So what one are we going to go to now? Well, I think we're going to go a little bit forward to 1995, maybe 96. And this beast of a baby, Obsession by Calvin Klein. Let me just give it a bit of a wipe there for my bougie sister across the pond so she doesn't see any marks there. But yeah, this is Obsession by Calvin Klein. My husband loves this. This is strong. This is a later version I have here, but I have worn it a little bit, as you can see, but I won't wear this a lot. However, Richard loves it. He absolutely loves it, and there's going to be another fragrance he loves that I'm going to be talking about. But I wore this from time to time in the 90s, so I had to include Obsession. So the next one we're going to go to is we're going to go forward to 1997, 96, 97, and we're going to talk about Organza by Givenchy. Now, I've talked about this a lot in other videos. I only bought this recently. This is a vintage formulation, and I have a little smaller 15ml vintage formulation as well. Love the bottle, love the design, the silhouette of that Grecian lady that it's emulating. But this is tuberose, this is cinnamon, this is nutmeg, this is walnut, soft. Well, no, actually, it's quite spicy, but it's backed up. Those white florals have the backbone to it. So yeah, I really, really do like this. There is vanilla in there, but only a touch. If you do love vanilla, you probably won't like this fragrance because it only has a touch in there. It's mostly the white florals, and I love it. Some people, it can probably headache inducing, but for me, works a treat, and I absolutely adore it. So that's Givenchy Organza. So I had to include this because this is a powerhouse 90s fragrance. Next one we're going to go to, we're actually going to go to this one, which is a classic, which is strong sensuality, strong femininity, and that is Hermes 24 Faubourg. Wrong way, that way. Let me give it another wipe just in case. So there we go. There we go. So that's 24 Faubourg by Hermes. And this is, again, white floral, gardenia. Husband, again, loves this, adores this. I've worn this a lot. I've had this now about 5 years, this fragrance. But I would say this is for the chic lady. This is for the lady or man, whoever you are. This is for someone who's got their shit together, who's got their life together, unlike me. So when I do want to have my shit together and I want my life together, then I wear this. It's a bitch boss fragrance. So I have worn this from time to times when I do mean business, when I don't want people to mess with me. But it's a classic and I do love it. So that is 24 Faubourg, Hermes. Next one we're going to go to, so we're going to go to now to 1997, 98. We're going to go towards the late 90s, and we're going to go for this little baby here, which is Lolita Lempicka by the original Lolita Lempicka. This is a reformulated version, but to me it still smells lovely. Sweet licorice. Licorice is the backbone to this. Love the cap as it slides on. It's a strong sweet, slightly floral, slightly medicinal. If you like La Petite Robe Noire by Black Guerlain, you will love this. Very similar to it, but it's minus the cherry. I think there's a bit more cherry in that. There's not really, although I think cherry's in this, it's not the prominent note. It's that licorice and vanilla and maybe it's myrrh. I don't know, slight incensey maybe, I don't know, but I wore this all throughout the 90s, so I had to include this. The stories I could tell, but that's another story. Although I will say, actually, with one fragrance, and it was actually this fragrance when I was on Bournemouth Beach with a friend of mine, and we made friends with a load of firemen that night and went back to their hotel. Yes, that was the summer of 97. But anyway, I don't. So, my husband knows what I'm like. I'm an open book. What you see is what you get. So there you go. I'm proud of who I am. Next fragrance we're going to go to is 1998, 99. I think it was 99 when I first wearing this. And this is Hypnotic Poison by Dior. I've used about a third of this. I've had this a long time actually. I've had this fragrance about 9 years. Apparently it may have been reformulated again. So I think this is like the first or the second reformulation, and Dior is renowned for reformulating. The best way you can look at it is just the batch code, and then they, every 10 years, they use the same batch code. But anyway, so yeah, so Hypnotic Poison, it is bitter almond, it's vanilla. On me, it goes, the vanilla is really amped up on me, and people say I smell like chocolate when I wear this. So obviously it has that reaction to my skin, but it is sweet on my skin. On some people, though, it may not be. I have debated about getting the Hypnotic Poison, the Eau de Parfum, because that does have licorice in it, which I adore licorice. Ever since I was a child, I loved that black licorice. Let's just say licorice does amazing wonders if you suffer from a bad stomach. And so I'm giving you two FYI here. Anyway, I digress. So licorice in that perfume is really lovely, but it's not in this fragrance. But I do love Hypnotic Poison by Dior. We're going to go we're going to go to the year 2000. I think that's what we're going to do with this next fragrance. And we're going to go to our final fragrance, which is Ghost. This came out in 2000. So it is 20 years old now. I'm going to spray this just to love the sprayer on it. Oops. Didn't realise my little cat was beside me. I think she got a little bit of a... My husband says this smells like Turkish delight. It's rose, it's vanilla. You love this, don't you, Rich? Yeah. I loved the campaign behind this because it showed a woman walking in the streets, and when I say a woman walking in the streets, I don't mean the job I did years ago walking in the streets. I mean she was a proper lady walking in the streets, but she was, and this man was, or was it? No, it was a man walking in the streets, that's it, and this lady was walking behind him, and he would look round, and then she was gone, and then she was in another area, and then another area, and it was that kind of mystery. Now, I wouldn't say this fragrance has mystery to it, but it has soft sensuality to it. It's very delicate, this fragrance. It's very much not talked about. I've got to spray it again. Just look at that mist. I love it. Oh, it's absolutely stunning. And I've used quite a bit of this. I've actually, you know, taken quite a lot of the juice out and slapped it on. But I do have another bottle of this actually, so that's how much I do love it. And yeah, and this was a lovely scent memory when I met Richard as well, which was really, really lovely. So that's it. Those are all my... I've forgotten one. See? This is how I roll. Which is this one, which is from the year 1998 actually. And Richard loves this fragrance as well. And this is Noa by Cacharel, which is a musk fragrance. I love the little pearl that's in it. I'm going to spray it here. Now this has a coffee note in it. Isn't that lovely? Yeah, sorry, my husband's behind the camera here as always. He's going to get in front of the camera one of these days. Maybe when I get to a certain amount of subscribers. Do you want to see him? You may be pleasantly surprised. You may be shocked. you know, but he's my big teddy bear and I love him, and he loves this fragrance on me. Noa. Now, this fragrance I had to learn to like actually, because I'm not a huge person that likes musk fragrances, and this has white musk in, and it does have a lot of musk in there. That sensual cleanness, but I love it now, and I don't wear it as often as I should. I think Cacharel fragrances, they are underplayed very much. I think Cacharel fragrances are, you know, Eden, huge big bombastic fragrance. Noa, I think they were starting to have a bit of a change when it came to the late 90s, early 2000s, and I think really they were having a little bit of departure from those big type of fragrances, because you then had Promesse, then you had Scarlet. There is one fragrance that I do love and I own called Liberty, which I will do a complete different review on that fragrance. That is predominant on marmalade, believe it or not. Anyway, so, but this fragrance I forgot, so I did have to include this fragrance, and that is Noa by Cacharel. So, those are all the fragrances that I'm going to talk about today. The 90s fragrances, the ones that I wore, the ones that I still wear, but this one is probably me in a bottle, if you'd say, who is Gabby? I mean, I do wear a lot of Guerlain fragrances, but this has scent memories, this has special memories. This, I will, you know, when I die, please somebody put eyeliner, mascara and dose me an angel in my coffin, because that's how I want to go. But yes, I adore it. So what are your 90s fragrances? Do you have scent memories of the 90s? Do you have 90s fragrances that you wish you could get your hands on again, that you used to own? What 90s fragrances are you, or used to be you? You know, comment down below. Don't forget, give a big thumbs up. I read all your comments. I know I do love all your comments, and then I get to answer your comments a couple of days later. You know me, I'm going to be 15 minutes late to my own funeral. That's the type of person I am. But yeah, please give a big thumbs up. I appreciate the love, and I will see you in the next video. But for now, don't just dab it on, slap it on. Ciao.